Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today I'm here to review some of my Genre Parfums order. I got a bunch of samples of some lesser reviewed fragrances that I've been very curious about. So I figured I'd try to give you some of my first impressions and maybe a little bit of a review as I go along. So I have a bunch to get into, so let's get started. Personally, for me, when I'm getting into a more indie fragrance house, I try to look for reviews and obviously see if the person I'm reviewing has a similar taste to me. So I thought it would be helpful if I started with some of the fragrances I really like to kind of give you a feel for my scent palette and see going forward if my review might help you based on if you like what I like. So I'll kind of break them down into a little bit of scent profiles and I'll give you a couple of examples for each one. And that way you can kind of see if your tastes align to mine. Okay, so I thought I'd start out with a tropical kind of summertime scent profile. So my favorite three in that category are Mancera Holidays, which is a creamy white floral. Definitely gives a sunscreen vibe, but the tiara in there, or the Tahitian gardenia, gives it a solar white floral creaminess, kind of mixed in with like a luxurious suntan lotion vibe, and I love it. So I'm from and I grew up in Hawaii, so to me that kind of holds like a special place in my heart. The white florals are kind of all over the place and it's something that's special to me, and that one definitely gives off that vibe. So it just makes me feel at home, makes me feel really happy. So I really like that one. That one might be an outlier, but it's in that profile. The other one that I really like is Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid. And this one is one of my favorites out of the Gucci Flora Gorgeous line. And this one is also like a creamy floral with a creamy orchid, but there's something in here, and like I know it's the ozonic notes or the aldehydes, but what it gives me is warm sunshine. So imagine like a creamy vanilla orchid, but the aldehydes give it that sunny warmth. So you're just like outside smelling a creamy white floral, but not like a jasmine white floral, like a vanilla-y leaning white floral. So really like that one. That one also does really well. That lasts on me for a very long time. And my kind of last tropical-esque scent profile is Nectar of Miami Beach, which I already finished my Miami Nectar from Ellis Brooklyn, and obviously that's what this is based off of. But right now I'm trying to finish this, and this one lasts a really long time. And what I love about Miami Nectar is the elements of the juicy tropical fruit, but it kind of has like a masculine undertone. It's not overpowering, at least I don't think so, but I feel like it gives it a little bit of complexity. Instead of just being juicy and fruity and sunny and warm, it has those elements, but something about the driftwood kind of lets it dry down to be kind of sophisticated. Okay, so a couple of fragrances I also like that are in kind of a random category, so I just kind of put them together, was Jessica Simpson Fancy Love and Kayali Young Bougie Marshmallow. I really like both of these. I feel like this one is very elegant. It has an element of like champagne and kind of bubbliness, but the florals in the mid make it feel really elegant and just really pretty and sophisticated. And obviously Young Bougie Marshmallow is sweet and just really pretty. And actually, I especially love wearing these together. I feel like this is like the elegant, sophisticated, kind of creamy, pretty floral, and this gives it that little bit of sweetness that it's missing, and they balance each other really well. So I really enjoy wearing those together, and I think they're very pretty. Next, I have another two that are kind of random designer niche type of fragrances. One is Kat Von D Saint. This one has been long discontinued, but it still stands as one of my favorite fragrances. Oh, it's so pretty. It's described as like an oriental floral, and this one I'll have to read the notes because it's very specific. But it has, in the top, it has Mirabelle and Clary Sage. Mid notes are almond blossom, jasmine, and lily of the valley. And the base notes have peach, vanilla, musk, and cedar. So I honestly don't know what to say about this, except I feel like it's just another one of like, in the same vein as Fancy Love. I feel like they are kind of referenced as similar on Fragrantica, but they just kind of have that sparkly sophistication to them. This one doesn't have champagne, but it kind of gives the air of like peachy and bright without being like syrupy heavy peach. Like you wouldn't be able to say, oh, this is a peach fragrance, but it's very pretty and very sophisticated, and it stood the test of time for me. And this one is Fire at Will by Jovoy Paris. Mine is kind of dusty because I've been letting it sit as well as just kind of wearing it here and there because it is so expensive. But this is one of the few vanillas I splurged on. I think I have also had Indult by Tehoda, which I love, but I feel like other brands can recreate it pretty well. This one, oh my gosh. It just is like vanilla extract, pure vanilla with just a little hint of brown sugar to make it a little richer. Oh, I love it so much, but I use it sparingly because it was very expensive and I just love savoring it. But these are two that I also really like. Okay, now that I've given a little bit of context of what I like, I figured I'd get into some of the fragrances that I already like from this house. So I have Fairy Dust, which I feel like we all, you know, enjoy. That's kind of one of their main claims to fame if you're like new to the brand. I feel like their version of Happy Dust is really good because it has that element of grounding that I feel like they're really good at. Something a little spicier than I feel like a lot of the recreations that are out there from other indie brands, where a lot of times it feels really soft and kind of creamy. I feel like theirs, Genres, is pretty good at having that little, I won't say spicy element, but a little richness, not richness either. I'll say spiciness, but not like pepper spicy. Little spiciness to it that kind of grounds it, where I feel like so does the original, and I feel like that's why Genres is so good. Yeah, so Fairy Dust is one of the ones I already like. And then we get another little scent strip over here. Another one that I really like is A Century More, which is based off of Minnie Mouse, the 100th anniversary edition. This one is a lot more fruity than Fruity and Creamy, and I believe it has like apple and some other things in the opening. Yeah, this one's definitely like a nice crisp apple, clean, fresh, but fruity smell. I really like this one because I feel like the fruitiness really comes out, but it's still a little sophisticated. And I've already gone through a sample of this, and last ordering window is when I ordered this. What I like to do is just let them sit and just kind of get really nice and rich in the bottle. But yeah, this one is another one I really like. Okay, so I'll start with my only big bottle that I got this order, which was Positivo, and this is the House of Sillage Hufflepuff. And what I feel like Genre is really good at, from what I've experienced a little bit, is the fragrances they do have. I want to say maybe their blend leans a little bit, kind of with a lot of the fragrances, into the woody base that they put in there. And I feel like it works with this one because for me, Hufflepuff is a DNA that leans too sweet, and something about it just, when I smell it, it makes me, I won't say feel nauseous, but it's almost too rich, too syrupy. Something about that DNA just, I don't know, does not agree with me. But I was hopeful with knowing kind of Genres after like a couple windows, kind of knowing their gravitation towards the type of base that they have. I felt like it would go really well with this and kind of give it what I needed for that DNA, and I was definitely right. It has just a little bit of like grounding, and to me kind of translates like a sophistication. So now I just kind of really get that nice lemon creaminess, and with like a little bit of like woodiness in the base to give it just a little sophistication. It doesn't feel like it overpowers it or anything, and I'm very, very happy with this, and I had a feeling that I was going to appreciate this, especially based on other reviews I had seen. So I'm very happy with Positivo. Okay, so I have a bunch of pre-labeled, pre-sprayed scent strips right here, and I'm gonna kind of go through and give a little bit of some of the things I liked, because there is a lot of samples that I tried. So first I will pick out is Snow Angel. So if I can find this in here. This is Snow Angel, and this is their recreation of Mugler's Angel Ice Star. This one I love. Okay, the juicy coconut and pineapple in the opening is so great. I want to say it only has 4 notes. It's like pineapple, coconut, jasmine, and praline. Let me see. Oh, it is so good though. It's such a good pineapple. It's nice and juicy and not too tart. Pineapple, coconut, vanilla, praline, and patchouli. So this one, okay, but I want to spray this one again. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, that pineapple and coconut are so vibrant and juicy in the opening, but I want to say it might be the little bit of the patchouli kind of giving it like a nice little greenness to it, and like a very summery, warm, outdoorsy on the beach kind of way, you know? Not quite leaning fully like tropical drink or anything, but like maybe the fresh fruits you would put into that drink before you blended it in. Next we have Pineapple Passion, and this was another one I was super excited about. I had a feeling I was gonna like it because, as I can see, I lean a lot towards the fruity genre scents. And this one is based on the Pineapple by Dolce & Gabbana. So this one opens up with pineapple and Sicilian mandarin, and what I get in the opening is a lot of juicy mandarin with just a splash of tartness from like the pineapple juice kind of thing. I more smell the mandarin than I smell the pineapple. And then when it dries down, I feel like I get a good mix of the tarty juiciness of the fruit with the jasmine. I know in this fragrance it's listed pineapple, Sicilian mandarin, jasmine in the mid, vanilla absolute, ambergris, orchid, and tobacco in the base. I don't feel, to me personally, that the tobacco pulls really at all. That's not one that I feel like is really coming through. Just the like juicy mandarin, a little air of white floral from the jasmine, not too aggressive at all, and then just a little bit of tartness from that pineapple. Another one I was really excited about and had a feeling I would like is Safe Haven. And this one is a recreation of H.O.S by Narcotica. And this one is just so juicy and fruity. And I can tell you exactly what this smells like to me. Because it's the passion fruit, black currant, and I believe peach in the opening. But what I smell from this fragrance, and it's so juicy, is like if you had the Lifesaver gummies, the very berry or like berry variation of that, like the deep purple one, that's exactly what this is giving to me. Very juicy, very candy-like, so yummy. Okay, if you are a lime girly or you just love to smell like lime, Anguillian water, that definitely might be your baby, because this is based off of Creed's Virgin Island water. And I just smell a rich lime. It's so good though. I feel like it reminds me of a little bit more of a sophisticated version of like the green ice pops you would get in your in like those packs of ice pops for the freezer. It's so juicy and so good, but still not just like juvenile, you know? Yeah, I feel like if you liked that ice pop taste slash flavor, this is what that smelled like to me, and it smells really good. Okay, sadly this might be where the video starts veering into things I don't love as much, and I kind of knew that because I am a fruity lover in terms of fragrance, but I was so curious about Atlantic Forest, which is a recreation of Montale's Tropical Wood. And it said tropical, and when I'm looking up for Grantica, right, like the wood isn't listed as like the primary aggressive component in it. It was more the fruitiness. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll like that. And then in the opening, there's passion fruit, pineapple, bergamot, right? I was like, okay, those are a lot of things I love, right? I should have known though, the oud is at the top as well, and there's rose and leather, and okay, I just should have known, but I just had to know if I would like Genre's recreation of it. So I got it, but it smells like, to me, like it's like I can smell the rose and passion fruit, so it's kind of like that powdery citrus, and I just feel like I don't like that. And then I kind of get like the undertone of the leather, and I just feel like something about that isn't really combining well for me. And it smells just kind of like a slightly citrus cleaner to me. And I don't think that's a vibe on the recreation from Genre. I think it's just like the scent profile that it's just not for me, you know? But it kind of just gives me like a powdery cleaner, but if you added just like an undertone of citrus. Okay, another one is Vanilla Shadow, and I know this one is a very popular one because it is a recreation of a really yummy vanilla, which is Fire at Will by Jovoy Paris, which is one that I actually own the OG of. So I'll spray this again. I've had it sitting in, since it is a vanilla, it kind of gets a little light, but this one, I feel like the vanilla that comes through is very accurate to the vanilla in Fire at Will. It's almost like a vanilla extract with a little bit of richness from the brown sugar, just to give it a little bit of depth, but it doesn't change the almost pure vanilla composition too much. But I will say Genres has a little bit more of like that woodsy spice to it, which can, for some people's scent profiles, can really elevate it a little bit, depending on how you feel about it. For me, I just really love the pure vanilla. I do feel like, at least on the scent strip, I feel like it kind of goes away. But if I'm smelling the original side by side, yeah, this one has no spice to it. And then smelling it against that, the spice really comes out. So I think it really depends on if you've gotten a sample of that before, or you're just looking for a vanilla with no extra anything. You could take the chance and the spiciness or kind of like woodsy element might go away for you, or it might not. But I feel like, yeah, if you're looking for just that pure vanilla with no extra frills, maybe you'd want to find another recreation of that fragrance, or it's still really good, just depends on what you're looking for.